Say when.
Hey, this is Videobob from BTTFstuff.com, and we're here with a very important person. This is Kevin Pike. You're the dude that made the original time machine for Back to the Future.
That's right, Bob.
And here's one of my replicas here. I want you to take a look at this thing. Tell me what you think of this.
Well, I know a little bit about it, having made 3 of them for the first Back to the Future movie, along with supervising the effects board. So I'm here today as a judge, and this is one of the fine cars and a great replica of Back to the Future. Let's see how we're doing.
Okay.
One of the wonderful things that we really enjoyed when we built the car was we made these metal bands so that it could start to glow as it went back and forth in time. This car doesn't have any neon on it. It's not too hard to do. You take pencil rod and you make a form, and then you send it off and you get small pieces made that will fit these curves that you can join together as neon can be done. And you run the wires through to the front and you run it into the transformers, and then you hook it up to the inverter, and then you hook it up to the extra batteries that we had to put in the front. That makes it very nice, especially when you're displaying it, to have the neon in the car.
How durable was the neon?
It wasn't very, but we had racks and racks of replacements. But they have new light effects now that you can use that replicate it so well it looks like the real thing.
The electroluminescent wire.
In replace of what we used was white phosphorus tubing.
Awesome.
Okay, on the fins changed over the course of the car, but when we started out we actually had a very aged, much like your Triumph exhaust pipes, that showed that the vent was actually a functional vent just by the paint characteristic. It started off silver and it ended up with that burnt and brown and blue finish on it. Very, very interesting. Of course, everybody has to make this design so they can access their engine, but the real one actually encapsulated the trunk, and we had to take it off whenever they needed to service the engine, or we needed to modify it, or to put oil through the exhaust for effects, or whatever we had to do. We also had to take it apart every time we had to do the license plate and put the barcode license plate. You have the authentic barcode license plate that goes with Mr. Fusion, which was the third mode of the car that we used when we built them. We had the plutonium chamber mode, we had the hook mode, and then we had finally the Mr. Fusion mode, which was made out of the Krupp's coffee maker. So that's a real valid point, right? We have a little extra dressing that could be done here on the back that's not there yet, so there's still some work in progress that we can see going on here. This is the Holy Grail. It's a little jet propulsion igniter. You made an excellent copy with it. I like the texture metallic finish on that as opposed to just being flat and smooth.
I got to give credit to Gary Weaver, sculpted that. He made that himself.
A great job. These blocks that were made out of the poplar wood were all regular metallic colored aluminum spray paint. Somehow they got changed over to a lighter blue for some reason, but the authentic color is actually metallic. Okay? Inside of the car is a really nice job. I particularly like what you've done with the little air bottle, the little breather bottle, and your cascade looks nice and sharp and clean. You've got a real healthy Mr. Fusion box. That's all good. Your labeling looks pretty good. You've got the authentic key piece, which is the battery terminal cleaner that we have. You've got a little bit of an oversized keypad. The true keypad was much smaller.
Yes.
You've got the alarm clock, which is a accoutrement that most people don't have. The dots on the lights, I don't believe were on our original car.
Okay.
And the wrench meter looks a little bit large, but I make mistakes sometime on that one.
That's actually an authentic part. That one's not a replica, so that's a real.
There you go.
That's a real part.
But all things considered, very clean. I love the roof. You've done the best job of the roof of any of the cars I've had a chance to see today.
Thank you very much.
And it makes it look real proud to have a good replica done.
But those are all. I used the same authentic parts. They were L&B enclosures and the Grimes emergency light, which is pretty much the standard. I got to give credit for the time circuits guy named Scott Dorlack of California.
Well. Good friend of mine.
He had those made in India. And you know, at the time they were meant to be functional to sit on top to allow the vents to work. So they're not screen accurate, but they are functional for the car.
And Scott's also a wonderful musician, I might add.
He is.
Some songs at times. What you have is you have a chromium finish here, and what we had was a metallic finish.
Yes.
A little bit of crinkle texture to it. Okay.
And let me add, my other cars that I have the correct time circuits in them. This particular car just has a different one.
And so then again on the front banding, the wires and the railing is very, very nice. Ours were a little bit more pronounced, maybe a little farther out, but that's a wonderful look. It's almost completely accurate. Again, the biggest default right here is the blue boxes versus the metallic boxes.
We'll be fixing that soon.
And again, no neon in the front, right?
That was done simply for the client's costs restrictions, but you're right. I got you.
Nice job on the bending of the bars. They seem to fit very well. Overall, the car looks great. You could take this car anywhere and make everybody happy that you've got an original Back to the Future time machine replica.
How about the? Tell us about the right side pontoon here. There was some of these goodies.
Here, I think you have some more connections going on here. These are the hard parts to find in the right size.
There should be tubes going here.
We have some bending brake lining that we would bend with the brake line bender that we come and fit up in the back a little bit. But these are nice looking. They're actual metal helicopter struts that makes it a little official. These are the replicas of the Zero boxes, and that's another thing that's hard to find in true form. Overall, a really nice job.
Actually, these ones aren't replicas. These are Zero boxes that I got from Joe Factors.
The original ones that we had,
but they had been cut.
They had the skirts. They just had the rounded knobs on them. I don't believe that we use these kinds of tech screws when we put ours in. I think we use the button head Allen screws on a lot of our work. And so that would be something that you might.
These are just self tappers. It was easy to put them in
to make it more authentic. But other than that, pretty slick. I like it a lot.
All right. Well, hey, that was Kevin Pike on Videobob, and check out my website at bttfstuff.com. But what's your website?
Filmtrix.com. filmtrix.com.
Kick ass. Well, thanks. I'm Videobob, and we'll see you soon.